Hey folks, so a couple of you have actually asked me what my name means. Knit the grit, um, uh, because when you ask me if it had anything to do with lightsabers or even Star Wars, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with that at all. And so a couple of you asked me what the genesis of that nickname was and why I use it for my YouTube channel. So I'll tell you. It won't take very long. So when I was growing up, a little boy, my mom used to give me the nickname Nate the Great because my name is Nathan. And she got that nickname from a story that she used to read me as a child called Nate the Great Detective, which was about a young boy and his dog that would go on these detective adventures in San Francisco, which is where I grew up. So she gave me that nickname based on the story, and my friends started nicknaming me that too as I was growing up. They would call me Nate the Great. As I got older, a lot more of my friends just started calling me NTG as my nickname, rather than saying the whole thing, which was totally fine with me. And then about my mid-20s, I started getting into the poker scene really heavy, playing a lot of low stakes, mid stakes, doing a lot of cash gaming tournaments, things like that. And it was probably early 2000s. And that nickname sort of carried on into that area too. And then it picked up really big because, you know, in the poker world, people always love having nicknames. So I made this channel originally when I was getting into poker, which was, and when I started playing like more seriously, when I was actually considering doing it semi-professionally, which was right around 2008, 2009. And that was when I started this channel. And so originally this channel had a lot of poker content on it. But I wasn't creating it. It was mainly just a place for me to create playlists from other places, that sort of thing. And then I didn't get into lightsabers until I think 2019. I visited Disneyland, I think Halloween of 2019. That was when I first got like the lightsaber at Savi's, got the bug, came back, started looking into other companies that did lightsabers, discovered, you know, a lot of the better lightsabers that were out there. So like early 2020, I was hooked. I was in the lightsaber stuff. And right about June of 2020 was when I'd made the decision that I wanted to start making videos about, because I would see all these unboxing videos for lightsabers. And so I thought, well, that's a cool idea. So I'll start doing that. And then as I got to know Profi, I figured, well, you know, why not just make videos about doing stuff with Profi too? Because that seemed like a fun thing to do. And I got a really positive response. But the whole time, the site was always called Knit the Grit. Now, my nickname actually had changed. So, as I'm still in the poker scene at this point, my friends still called me NTG. But when I played, I was known for being what's called a nit. Now, a nit is somebody that plays really, really tight. Only puts money in with like really good hands. Right, and is very, a very tight player, does not give a lot of action. And when they win, it's very hard to get your money back off me. So slowly my nickname of NTG, instead of people calling me Nate the Great in the local casino halls where I would play, they started calling me Knit the Grit. It's a little bit of a silly transition, but at the time it made perfect sense because of you know, my reputation at that point. And so when I started doing this channel for poker related stuff, I called it Knit the Grit. And my poker friends all thought it was hilarious. And they loved it. So I kept it, you know, it was great. And then when I changed it over to a lot of the lightsaber content, I just didn't change it, mostly because I didn't know if I would ever go back to doing poker stuff at some point. So I figured I'll just leave it as is, no big deal. So that's why it is what it is. Actually has nothing to do with lightsabers. It has everything to do with poker. And for those of you who have only known me for a couple of years through the lightsaber hobby, poker was sort of my hobby for like 20 years before that. And still kind of is, but not really. I'm not into it nearly as much as I was. COVID sort of killed that for me. After sheltering in place for a year and a half and being away from a lot of your poker buddies, and then realizing how much money you're saving by not going out and playing tournaments every week. It's been hard to find the motivation to go back and play again, so I don't. So now it's primarily lightsabers for me. That's the fun part. So that's where the name comes from. All right, y'all. Another blade style video forthcoming tonight in a few minutes. You're gonna like it. All right. May the force be with you.